Houston, we have ignition.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's
Yes.
been so great.
Third stage is free, and we are blasting out of this reality. I feel an essay coming on. I like to paint pictures for people, and I liked how Mike was coming in with the tree of life, etc. And actually, this essay will be titled "The Tree of Death." And everything has to have its mirror, right? So for every positive, there's a negative, and vice versa. And you have to find the singularity in it. One of the things that I've noticed with the people that have been texting and writing, especially over the last few days, you see, I look for the trend of what we're exposing, and it always shows itself within 2 or 3 posts of, one is, that could be a coincidence, which is not. So I look for the second and third and fourth of people dealing with the same situation, and not only through text and whatever, but dealing in real time with people in real occurrences that are happening to basically unveil the last layer. And it is so mind-numbingly simple. It's been the same thing I've said all along, and I'm going to paint a little picture here for you to show you why in natural law this is spot on. Okay, and I write it out in great detail. Well, not great detail, but enough detail to paint this picture. But when you stop and think of, we talk about the tree of knowledge and the tree of life, which is only half the picture. So you have the other 2 trees, the tree of death and the tree of ignorance, right? So one will always come with the other. The tree of life always has knowledge, and the tree of death always has ignorance. It has to equal and balance out, right? Quad. So when you look at the tree that has encompassed this earth, the roots of this tree that have went into every continent, into literally every one. This is the tree that's known as the cyst stem. Okay? Every plant has a stem, so this is the tree of death, the cyst stem. That's the tree that's ruling this place. This world has a tree ruling it, and it is that's what I'm going to be calling it, the cyst stem. Now, the name creates you as a branch to drain your life. So this tree of death can mimic life. It cannot be life; it must mimic it, right? That's the nature of life and death. Death can only mimic life. Think of Frankenstein's monster as an allegory, or think of a zombie as an allegory, and that's exactly what it is. It is literally the walking dead, or the dead brought back life in a false means. And that's what the system thrives on. And another allegory that will entertain this, I'm going to get into a couple of small proofs for people to see and what has been showing up in my reality over the last 4 or 5 days. When you think of the Book of the Dead, well, you're a leaf page in that Book of the Dead. And of course, a page is someone who works for a knight. In this case, you're a page that works for a dark knight with a dead queen as its master. So think back to why do we refer to the branches of government or bank branches? Which branch of the bank are you going to? Right? What is a bank? Well, a bank is on each side of a river to try to contain and direct the truth. This is why you have to cut new rivers. You get to be your own banks by removing that and becoming the floodplains. So think about, excuse me, one example of it. It shows up in the phonics very nicely. We have things called vehicle identification numbers, which is commonly called a VIN or a vine, which is simply another offshoot from the cyst stem. So I've talked to actually a couple of people face-to-face regarding this, and a couple of people have texted me through Facebook with exactly the same scenario. Someone just had their driver's license revoked. Yay! I always love it when the system takes their curse back. It's so funny. And then people, I'm not saying the ones that understand what we're doing here, but the ones that say would get their license revoked are going, oh no, I can't, I gotta, it's they're lusting after the very thing that's killing them. Whereas when the system takes something back, okay, thanks.
They don't see it as a favor, yeah.
Yeah, you saved me the bother, And again, I'll go back to an example. I have a recording of it. I should get it loaded up. I've got to actually take a bit out of it because it's a very long conversation. But Jim Macris, from the Ministry of the Attorney General, the MAG, in the Corporation of Canada here, made it very clear in voice, in a recording, that a license and insurance is not required to access the public roads. And I know this. Known this all along. So I don't know why people are so stressed out about it, right? But here, let's have a look at what is a vine. Well, a vine is something that grows from a root. So that vine or vine is attached to this cyst stem. And there's only one thing that attaches all of these things that you would claim to own to the cyst stem, and that is the name. That is the root and the branch. It is both at the same time. When you cut that from the system, the legal name, and you just have to get the concept of this. When you cut that legal name, you are literally shearing the branch off that dead tree, the tree of death, and you're pulling the root out. It is both the root and the branch, as above, so below, just like Michael said earlier. Okay? So these are not coincidentals, right? Have a look at what do you call in the UK we call it the boot. There's Italy, right? In North America we call it the trunk, right? Well, there's your tree trunk, there's your elephant trunk, there's your storage trunk, all of these things, right? And what is a trunk on an elephant? It's the nose, right? And of course on the front of the car, over here we call it a hood, which means mind, right? So it's a covering of the mind. They're actually saying the covering is the mind. So, well, time to lift the hood and empty the boot or the trunk, right? What else? Oh, steer, ring, wheel, right? What is a steer? Well, it's cattle. What is a ring? Well, it's a ring through its nose. So, and here we are holding on to the steer ring wheel to direct our lives. So there's a little hidden intent in there that if you're holding on to the steer ring wheel, someone else is leading you by the nose. And these are the crazy little concepts that I love to pull out allegorically, because within that you find the hidden curse or the intent or the spell as to why they're called a certain thing. So I take nothing for granted. I look at it and go, well, it's called that for a reason. Just like the bull means to go and talk. Well, I want to know why it means go and talk. So I want to know why it's called a steer ring wheel. We know what it is. Why? And there it is. So this little essay I'll be working on today is going to cover this. So if you want to get, here's the thing with cars and trucks especially. There is one thing that is riveted to the car. Oh, it'll keep you riveted to the play too, and that's the VIN. So pop the damn thing out. It's the only thing. Now, a license plate, you can sell a car and put other license plates on it, and I hate talking commerce, but this is just allegory. And different plates can go on it on the outside, but the VIN always stays the same. So I always look for the one common denominator in everything. What is the one thing that remains constant? Well, always the name, always the VIN. So, well, get rid of the name and pop the VIN. Because I'll tell you right now, without a VIN, there is nothing attaching it to the system. If you want to get real fun with this, just pop the VIN and mail it back to the. There you go. The system only owns the numbers and the paper. You have the illusion of thinking that they can come and grab your shit. They can't. But they can while you think in the normal sense, of course, because you're a slave at that point. But as soon as you know what we talk about at this table, you'll understand what we're really saying. So this is cutting all the strings to pull on. This is cutting the branches and the roots from the dead tree.